Okay, I've got a couple of quick announcements to make. Wolfgang's still tied up. This time it's not with interviews with the media. The local gendarme has arrived to explain to us that there could be some problems outside that they're perceiving. It appears they've got about 150 protesters out there that don't want to give us the right to free speech. So what we've decided to do in order to attempt to de-escalate the problem is we're going to cooperate with the management of the hall here and agree that the bar can be closed down, at least for the time being, until things get settled down. We've assured the owner of the hall here, and we've also assured the local police that we don't intend to start a confrontation, but we also are going to exercise our right to free speech and continue to have the meeting. So, until we can free up Wolfgang, I'll make a couple of announcements. I didn't have anybody to introduce me, so I'll introduce myself. My name's Grant. Let me try to explain to you what we've got outside. Let me see. I'm not very good with the English language, so let's see what I can come up with. How about biological pollution? About 150 of them. Since they've closed down all the coffee houses, the lefties have no place to go to. I'm sure it was AIDS Awareness Week this week. To give you an idea how outdated their signs are, they're running around with Save Our Land, Smash the Klan. They're just a little late. Just tiny bit late. And then I saw a bunch of people out there handing out posters and pamphlets and stuff for a committee for undemocratic renewal or some garbage from the United States. Mr. Morris Sleaze and some of his supporters out there trying to whip everybody up into a reptilian frenzy. So on that, we've told everybody that we keep everything calm in here. We'd go ahead and we'd have our meeting. So the back is going to remain open for coffee or water or non-alcoholic beverages, but for the time being, we're not going to sell alcoholic beverages, and I know that we're people that can live with that and won't have a problem with abiding by that to keep everybody happy. I mean, obviously, someone has to be reasonable here, and it's going to be up to us to be reasonable again and show the authorities that we're the people that can cooperate, and we're the ones that can have meetings and not get out of hand. I'll start out by reminding everybody that the Human Rights Commission has decided that Stage 3 or Part 3 of our fiasco, the Ontario version, as you're well aware of, the Human Rights Commission has essentially closed down Terry Long in Alberta. They've attacked the Canadian Liberty Net out in British Columbia, and right now there's an appeal going on, so hopefully the people responsible for running the hotline out there will be able to get the hotline up and running again, and we certainly provide them with all the moral support we can. If anybody's interested in helping out financially to help out, with their defense fund, they can see me and I can provide them with a mailing address, or see Jerry or any one of us. We can provide them with an address to help those guys out there out. What's happening with us is that the Human Rights Commission hired a local lawyer to go to federal court and to obtain an injunction causing us to shut our machine down so that we don't have any more messages from now until the time of the tribunal. Who won? It was pretty clear, I think, right from the beginning that the judge wasn't about to go for any of this. And I thought that it was rather remarkable that they had all these high-priced lawyers from Bay Street making representations on behalf of the commission, and Wolfgang spoke himself, and the judge decided that maybe we just shouldn't play the two messages that caused the complaint to originally be made, and the hotline can stay on. So we're interpreting that as being somewhat of a victory for ourselves, and we're looking at that as being a positive indication going into our January 25th hearings. So remember, in January, we're going to need as many people as we can to come each and every day that the hearings are held. They're going to be held in the federal court building in Toronto here. We're going to need people to come each and every day to help us fill up the committee room, the hearing rooms. Because I've been led to believe that Mr. what's his name again? Bobby Wash is going to have all of his supporters trying to and filling up the rooms. Now, just a couple words about David Irving, which I think are very topical right now. David Irving is going to be sent out of the country tonight. The speed with which the immigration department moved was just unbelievable. And the reason I tell you that is because another chap is getting deported, or was ordered deported this week, and that was the case of Mr. Robert Blackwood. He's the chap that I guess has been going around from country to country shooting policemen and ended up in Canada, and he's finally said that he doesn't want to live here. He wants to go back. I wonder if he has any like-minded followers. No kidding, communism's dead. Okay, now we've come to what we like to call the Catholic portion of the program. And what we have to do is, it's not just our defense fund that we're looking to raise money for tonight. But because this meeting is going to obviously be cut short and be a little bit disrupted, we've got a couple bands that are playing tonight, and they've gone out and rented equipment and spent quite a bit of money to do that. So what I'm going to do is pass around a box here and ask for anybody that can make a donation and to help us out, to help cover the costs that the band has experienced in getting the equipment. We would appreciate it. So as I make the final few announcements, I'm going to start to pass this around. So any help or support we can get would be greatly appreciated. Remembering that some of it's going to go to the band and some of it's going to be used to help us on January 25th when the hearings begin. So if we can get any volunteers, the 50 volunteers or so, maybe if you can make yourselves known over at the Heritage Front table right after the meeting, we'd appreciate it. Yes?
The 50 are the ones that are going to leave.
I'm sorry?
The 50 are the ones that are going to stay or the ones that are going to leave?
No, we need about 50 people to leave, and we're trying to make arrangements or accommodations for them to go downstairs.
Are you going to stay?
Also, we've got videotapes of the war meeting in Toronto, which were available up front at the Heritage Front table as well. And I want to mention again that we have subscriptions to up front, as well as applications for joining the Heritage Front. I think it's important to realize that if we weren't perceived as being effective, we wouldn't have this type of opposition. I also want to point out some new Heritage Front buttons that we have that are new since our last meeting, and they're available for $2 at the table if anybody would like to go back there and get your buttons. White power! White power!